Again, I would like to thank everybody for inviting me to this meeting. My second lecture for this meeting is about how to start getting involved in artificial intelligence. I'm here reflecting on our experience in the University of Toledo in Ohio. As I said, why artificial intelligence? As we said before, because of everything you see on the screen, everything becoming artificial intelligence. It's going to be a $500 billion industry in 2024. It has started. It's going to be driverless cars. It will be machine diagnosis of disease. And in the future, it is the future of technology. And as others have said, it is much more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Many years ago, I came across some of the important books to read. One of them is The Fourth Industrial Revolution by Klaus Schwab. And in that book, in effect, he said that there are industries and jobs in the future that are going to disappear 99% to 94%, and he gave some of them. Others are going to be unlikely to disappear because of computer. And he called it the fourth industrial revolution. It is not a machine, and it is not the typewriter. It is the data, and it is artificial intelligence. The future is all data. Why artificial intelligence? Data, or if the others will like to call it data. And there are so many of them. You are talking about 3.5 billion data a day published, 40,000 Google searches a second, 4.1 YouTube videos are produced a day, millions a day, and so on and so on. There are about 12.86 billion sensors a day are going to produce. The data, we divide it into structured data, unstructured data, or semi-structured data. You need to go and find the definition. Structures that it has a structure like financial, social security. Unstructures, imaging, is just an image. Semi-structures between them. But the time series data, which is something, the interactions, customer journey, collection data, all these are available on a daily basis, and you can use it to produce information for you. The data doesn't mean it's important. It has characteristic. Volume is important, variety, velocity, veracity, value, variability, and visualization. All these are important for any data. What is innovation? Innovation serves the purpose of making our life better, our work more productive, and our planet more sustainable. Or more destructive, actually, because people can use it in the opposite way. But that's what we like to believe, more sustainable. Multiple technologies join together to spur innovation in a secure, compliant, and user-friendly environment. There's no one person on earth who is very experienced in everything. Nowadays, if you have a problem, you go to information technology. In the future, it will be called intelligent transformation. They use everybody together with different friends to give you an answer. That gives you the smart devices, the edge computing, the cloud computing, high-speed networks, artificial intelligence. All of these are part of it. What is actually in artificial intelligence? Face recognition, machine learning, robotics, voice assistants. Look at Uber app. Who does not use Uber? Uber is not one thing. It's not a phone call and the driver comes to you. It is simple to use. Understand the conversation is based on natural language processing and gives a stream your experience. Verify millions of images, driver licenses, restaurant menus. This is again using computer vision and gives you safety and security on demand. Another thing, sensor motion. When the driver moves, it tells you where the driver senses, processing algorithm, and that tells you improves accuracy of densely populated area. It will calculate the possibility of crashes and stops and give you a better timing. Predict driver supply, rider demand. All these are there through machine learning, and that will help you predict the driver supply rather demand in general, and tells you, for example, in the morning it might be more expensive to find a car than in the evening, and vice versa. This is in one app. Too many things came together to produce that app. Innovation, it means problem solution. And integrating those together will give you an answer, will give you what you need. But you guess what? In medicine, for example, we know the problems that we need to solve. We create those problems or we discover them, and we go to experts, tell them, please solve it for us. That is the best way to start an artificial intelligence program. You need a champion or a team leader to integrate all those services together. And we have many team leaders, but they don't know that they are team leaders, or sometimes use it for other things. Machine learning and artificial intelligence and deep learning, there are a continuum of the same process, starting from the deep learning, which is the more specialized, to machine learning, then to artificial intelligence, which is the simpler but the most common. And this will give you, for example, the drivers for this, the data, the infrastructure, and GPU. All these are important. I'm introducing to you, somebody will say, well, we don't know how to do statistics. You don't need to know statistics. You need to know it a little bit to know what to use based on the different machine learning things to use, whether it is supervised or unsupervised. And there are a few things you need to know, but they are on this screen. I'm not going through them. Very simple. Just go to YouTube. You will get the answer to all of those really. Deep learning, it is a matter of finding what are the factors that are important to produce output. Give each one of those a weight, put them in algorithm, which is a formula, in other words, and it gives you an output. That is where the machine learning, I show you in the previous lecture, how did we get some of those factors, put them in a hidden, actually we published it, but we like to call it hidden, layer, which is the formula, and gives you the output, which is the amputation. Clinicians know those problems. They know the factors in them. And statisticians will come with the hidden layer, and the clinician and the statistician together work how to interpret it. It's very simple. You don't need to be, as a physician, very good person in statistics, but you can join with a computer scientist or a statistician to do that. It gives you actually, how did we start as our students? Our students wanted it. We started by an innovation program. We created a program in the university called Innovation Program. Then we called it Medical Education and Innovation Program. Then we called it Medical Education, Innovation, and Artificial Intelligence. The students wanted to do more. And we build people together. Medicine, biomedical engineering, bioinformatics, computer scientists, biostatisticians, law school. We put all of them together and said, we need to produce a product for the university that everybody can benefit from. And that's what we did. We integrated it. And you needed a champion. Luckily, I was part of that championship with some of the students, 3 students helped in that. There's nothing better and more integrated to do this better than a university. Well, all the specialties are present. A company that has a lot of money can buy those specialties. By university, by default, have those specialties sitting. And what we did it in multiple sessions. We said the first session, introduce artificial intelligence, then talk about research and drugs, then talk about bioinformatics, and talk about statistics, interpreting outputs, coding, databases, and then with deep liabilities and limits, and through a lawyer, and finally case presentation, and we did a project. The basics to advance in machine learning artificial intelligence is a number of products: mathematics for artificial intelligence, Python for coding, deep learning, natural language processing, robotics and motion robotics, ethics of artificial intelligence. You can produce in a university using those modules, a master's degree, or you can do a certificate, and you teach them. What did we do since we started our program? We have 8 patents, provisional patents in 2 years. We had 4 papers published, 3 chapters published. We had education, 2 international conferences, and we have a student elective in which we have 14 students, 7 of them finished the elective. Where to start? You need a coordinating champion, associate with the student groups, make it a student elective, and give professional programs and master certificate if you want to do it. Simple. The strategic goal and careers that you can produce to artificial intelligence, like artificial intelligence data scientists, developers, machine learning engineers, natural language, robotics, business, in medicine. This is what you will produce actually because of artificial intelligence, drug development, infectious diseases spread prediction, precision medicine, disease outcome prediction, robotics, imaging, motion robotics, genetic analysis, and so on and so on. The approach to implement it: identify a correct model, use correctly the correct model, help to buy in the idea of artificial intelligence. Don't ignore it. It is here to stay, and those who ignore it will be left behind or obsolete. In-person sessions or online courses are available. Go read about them. Leash the data scientists in each member of the subject. You will have a lot of them to do. Risk bias can be common in artificial intelligence, so you need to mitigate that. And ethical issues has to be respected in artificial intelligence. All what you need is to identify a problem, identify the team. A leader of the team is very important. Select the right tools and platforms. And perhaps Python is the best so far, the easiest and the best. Create artificial intelligence model, deploy and monitor this model, and adjust that model as you go. In the past, we used to have a lot of programs, Python language, C++, C hashtag, Java, etc., etc. I think the best, and this is thanks to my friend, Dr. Omar Al-Farouk, he said the easiest is Python language, simple, standard, and you can learn it in a short time. And this book actually was gifted to me by Dr. Omar Al-Farouk, which we give it to the students. You find the artificial intelligence platform and the framework that you need to work with provides end-to-end system, and you can get a lot of examples. You don't need to know that. The computer scientists, but tell them what you need. Deploy, monitor the artificial, fix the bugs in it, use visualization and interactive, and then get a post-deployment project manager to make sure this is successful. If you are going to be in a business model or you're going to market that as a business. If you don't want to use it, just use it to educate. You need to stop at here, then you have a program. These are the suggested program, how to start really. These are the modules, and we talked about them from basics, large database, machine learning, neural networks, biostatistics, coding, computer vision, robotics, and ethics. These are what you need to cover. Artificial intelligence is here to stay, but I will use the last quote from the co-founder of Google. Artificial intelligence will be the ultimate version of Google, the ultimate search engine that will understand everything on the web. It will understand exactly what you wanted, and it will give you the right thing. We are nowhere near doing that now. However, we can get incrementally closer to that, and that is basically what Google is working, not what we are working on, what Google is working on. Unfortunately, I wish we say we are working on. And I think that company is here now that's competing with Google, the OpenAI, which conducting ChatGPT-3 and ChatGPT-4. Both of them are giving you the answers and taking the thinking out of you, producing what I call the ignorant, educated person in the future, because they depend on the machine to give their answers to them. Thank you very much again for allowing me to be part of this program, and I wish to see you in the future in person.